We actually spoke with Hezbollah for the first time ever. We didn't know they spoke. And they agreed yesterday they're not going to shoot. Israel's not going to shoot. We're just going to see.
As Israel keeps pounding southern Lebanon, has Hezbollah just torched Trump's ceasefire plan, making clear it will not simply fold under US broker deal? With Mujtaba's most powerful proxy rejecting the Trump's blueprint, is Hezbollah vowing that its resistance will not end just because America and Israel say the war should? Is the Lebanon deal collapsing before it even begins, as Hezbollah demands a full IDF withdrawal from the south and far tougher terms than the pilot zones offered on paper? Is Trump's much-touted ceasefire push now in deep trouble, after Hezbollah's leadership brands the US-backed terms humiliating and accuses Washington of trying to win by politics what Israel lost by war? Amid fresh turmoil over the proposed ceasefire, Hezbollah has flatly rejected the US-backed Israel-Lebanon framework and warned that its armed resistance will continue. On June 4th, the group publicly dismissed the US-backed Israel-Lebanon ceasefire framework, signaling that it does not feel bound by what diplomats have drafted. The Iran-backed movement declared that any acceptable deal must start with a full Israeli withdrawal from Lebanese territory, not just limited redeployments. According to regional reports, Hezbollah informed President Joseph Aoun of its opposition to the plan, ensuring Beirut's leadership cannot claim broad national consensus. The group has also demanded a package including reconstruction, the release of prisoners and the return of displaced residents to their villages before it will accept any deal. Notably, Hezbollah was not directly involved in the talks that produced the ceasefire outline, and now appears to be trying to rewrite the terms from the outside. Hezbollah's chief, Naim Qassem, has slammed the proposal as humiliating for Lebanon, saying it fails to respect the sacrifices of those who fought. Qassem argued that the plan is designed to achieve through political pressure what Israel failed to secure through war, namely Lebanon's submission and the disarming of the resistance. Naim Qassem said, and I quote, "The result of the direct negotiations, which are futile, humiliating, and disgraceful for Lebanon, and which are rejected in their entirety by broad segments of the Lebanese people, came in the form of the Washington Declaration, which outlines the basic principles through which the United States and Israel seek Lebanon's submission to the project of Greater Israel. Making the disarmament of the resistance the primary objective and starting point of any agreement means executing Lebanon's source of strength. It constitutes an existential threat that could lead to the annihilation of its resistant people. It is a declaration aimed at destroying Lebanon, destabilizing it, and creating internal strife among the Lebanese in Israel's interest, allowing Israel to obtain through politics what it failed to obtain through war. This declaration is a roadmap for the annihilation of part of the Lebanese people and the subjugation of the rest. To place the security track under the slogan of a supposed ceasefire, interpreted as requiring Hezbollah to stop firing, resistance fighters to leave the south. While aggression continues under military pressure, is surrender, defeat, and the realization of the enemy's objectives. It is like Satan dreaming of entering paradise. We are concerned only with ending the aggression completely, achieving a ceasefire, and securing Israel's withdrawal. The ceasefire must be comprehensive. There can be no division between the south and the rest of Lebanon, nor can the Israeli enemy be granted freedom to kill throughout Lebanon. We have given no commitment to anyone that we will refrain from resisting aggression or responding to it. As long as aggression continues, we will confront it with all the power at our disposal and strike wherever we decide and are able. The primary objective must be Lebanon's sovereignty, which can only be achieved through the exclusive solution of ending Israeli aggression against Lebanon in all its forms, by air, land, and sea, along with Israel's withdrawal from Lebanese territory, the deployment of the Lebanese army south of the Litani River, the release of prisoners, the return of residents to all of their villages, and reconstruction. We reject any linkage between the existence of the resistance and the cessation of aggression or Israel's withdrawal." Unquote. Iran has echoed Hezbollah's stance, saying the group wants the IDF pushed back to the positions it held before the current US-Israel war on Lebanon began. Quds Force Commander Esmail Khani has stated that Israel must roll its forces back to pre-war lines if it hopes to see calm restored on the northern front. He told Hezbollah fighters they would soon see the results of their resistance, hinting that Iran believes the current pressure campaign is paying off. Tehran has also signaled that any broader deal with Washington must include an end to fighting on the Lebanese front, binding Hezbollah's battlefield to its own nuclear and sanctions talks. On paper, Israel and Lebanon have agreed to renew a ceasefire if Hezbollah halts attacks and pulls its fighters back from the frontier. The US-brokered plan envisages Hezbollah vacating a defined strip of South Lebanon and accepting so-called pilot zones, where only state forces can deploy. The idea is to create army-only security zones where no non-state actors can operate or bear arms, effectively pushing Hezbollah's units further north. A joint statement promises more talks in the coming weeks and speaks of moving toward a comprehensive agreement once the initial steps are in place. However, within hours, Lebanon state news agency was reporting fresh Israeli drone strikes in the south, undermining confidence that any truce is actually taking hold. Defense Minister Israel Katz has said Israeli troops will remain in South Lebanon for now, signaling that a rapid withdrawal is not on the cards. Katz also warned that residents cannot yet return to the south and that Israel keeps the freedom to strike Beirut if provoked, keeping the threat of wider escalation on the table. Meanwhile, Trump claimed on June 3 that the US president has spoken with Hezbollah for the first time, portraying this as a breakthrough even as fresh fire publicly refutes his ceasefire terms.
Is it possible to get to a deal with Iran, whether to go in and do that or to open up the Strait of Hormuz without seeing an Israeli cessation of their hostilities in Lebanon?
I think it would. We're trying to separate it. I mean, you look, it's a very different kind of a thing. We actually spoke with Hezbollah for the first time ever. We didn't know they spoke. And they agreed yesterday they're not going to shoot. Israel's not going to shoot. We're just going to see. But I'd like to separate it. I'd like to have it a separate thing because it is separate. But Israel, hey, look, they've been a great partner. Bibi Netanyahu's been, for me, a great partner. For other people, not so good. For me, he's been very good. We were very effective, what we've done. And they needed us. They couldn't have done it without us. Couldn't have even come close. And they needed us. And they got us to help them with a real problem, because Iran was a real problem, a big problem, a worldwide problem, because they wouldn't have stopped with Israel. They would have blown up the Middle East. And you saw that by the rockets. All those rockets that went to the five, mostly for the most part, the five countries outside of Israel, those rockets were aimed there before we hit them with the B-2 bombers. They were going to blow up the Middle East. They were going to blow up Israel, but they were going to blow up the Middle East. And I stopped it, and I'm very proud I stopped it. And we also stopped it in the first term when I terminated the Iran nuclear deal penned by Barack Hussein Obama. It was one of the dumbest deals I've ever seen. And this has no relation. I like these morons, these Democrats, D-U-M, Democrats, that go on television and say, oh, well, this is just like the Obama deal. This is the exact opposite.